The LA Dodgers might actually be the greatest team that I have ever seen play baseball. Folks, welcome into Bad for Baseball, the baddest baseball podcast on the internet, presented to you by Betway. Those LA Dodgers are going insane mode, everybody.
Yeah.
And listen, I get it. We're only a couple games into the regular season, what have you. I don't even think that this is that big of an overreaction, because this squad, what they're doing right now, it is different. We're going to break down everything that they've done so far, what it means for them, and then also the rest of the league. But holy shit, dude. 4-0 right now.
I know. And here's the thing, too. They're facing good teams, right? When they were in Tokyo, you had 2 games against the Cubs, which are a good team, much better than they were the year prior, with lots of promise. You go and you sweep them. And so far, we're recording this on Saturday, March 29th, and they've already taken 2 off of the Detroit Tigers. And you actually brought this up to me. The Tigers, they've been playing good baseball. It's not like they're just getting walked over and they're not showing up. No, we're going to look at the box scores. We're going to look at the pitching performances. They've had very good outings, yet they're just losing to the best team in baseball.
Yeah, and I was looking at some of, like, Detroit fans and what they're saying right now. They're coming out and they're being like, hey, like, we're doing all right. We think we're fine, but we've also lost, too, because it is the LA Dodgers, man. Like, that's just what they do. Flashing over right here. They're tough to beat, man. They're tough to beat. Detroit had them. They had the champs on the ropes trying to take one of them away, and they just couldn't do it, man. Extra innings, drama, 10th inning, excuse me. Detroit takes the lead. They're up by 2 runs. It don't matter, though, because when you got guys like Shohei Ohtani and then Mookie Betts coming in, even though he's down 25 pounds, he's still annihilating home runs in dramatic fashion.
And I got to give a lot of credit to Mookie Betts, because I think he weighed 160 coming into this series. So he's still down 20 pounds, right, from where he was before. And this dude doesn't look like he missed a beat. He's 4 for 8 with 2 homers to begin the season. That's honestly athleticism at its peak.
Maybe this is his ideal weight. He just never knew.
He's going to stay here the whole time. Right? I can turn on the ball a lot faster. But what an incredible finish that game yesterday on Friday night. You had the Tigers, like you mentioned. They took the lead 5-3 in the 10th. And then they go into the 5th inning, the 10th inning. The Dodgers, you had obviously runner on second with the extra runner, like ghost runner, quote unquote, on second rule. And then Michael Conforto comes up, hits a ground rule double. They're only down by 1. Boom, Pages grounded out. Okay, 1 gone. Boom, Will Smith. You forgot about that guy? Boom, he ties up the game right there. And then the lineup flips over to Shohei Ohtani. He's been an absolute animal, leading the team in hits so far. 6 hits in 4 games. He goes and gets a sharp ground ball to right field, gets on base for who other than Mookie Betts. The story continues, the comeback in his own right, and he hits a walk-off homer, 8-5 Dodgers. I mean, look, the Tigers played a very good game. Look at Flaherty right there.
Yeah, they played a respectable game, right? Like, this is, again, the best lineup that I think I've ever seen ever.
Yes.
And again, like, they did well. And Detroit fans are saying, we are still happy with the state of our team, even though we're losing. And I think that just goes to show how much of a different caliber, a different tier these LA Dodgers are in right now. Can you flash over to the playoff percentages, please, from Fangraphs? I thought that this was just insane, right? Like and let me be very clear. Fangraphs, phenomenal site. Typically, I find that they're relatively conservative with how they make their predictions, their win-loss totals, everything like that. We are 4 fucking games into the regular season, and the LA Dodgers are 0.2% off of being a 98% or having a 98% chance to make the playoffs. That means that 1 every 50 times they're saying that they don't make the playoffs.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, like, look, they're gonna smash the division. They're gonna win 100 games this year. The fact that their over/under line was about 100 is insane. So yeah, making playoffs. If you're expected to win 100 games, you should be making playoffs, right? But what's crazy to me is that their chance to win the World Series right there is 21.5. and here's the thing: that's 1 in 5 times. However, sportsbooks have them in every 1 in 3 times.
Yeah, I don't even think that like 21.5 is good enough. Like I genuinely think that like these guys, and I know it's crazy. There's so many variables, and once again, this is an overreaction.
Absolutely.
As we are 4 games in. However, when you're talking about the reigning MLB champs and you're seeing them come out like this, and you know that they're going to be buying in at the trade deadline, like, they're going to the World
Yeah.
Series, dude. This is the best fucking team.
I know, and if you didn't want to hear it, then turn it off. But like, listen to this, guys, right here. Look at this. Every single person in 4 games. Mookie Betts in freaking 2 games has already got 4 hits. You got Tommy Edman with 4 hits. You got Will Smith with 4 hits. Michael Conforto 3. You got Teoscar Hernandez 2, but he's got a homer. So like, everybody is producing at a high level. I think their team OPS right now is around that 800. Again, it's only 4 games, but just goes to show how deep this lineup is.
Yeah, man, and let's face it, right? Like, even the guys that aren't getting off to hot starts, Teoscar Hernandez, Freddie Freeman, like, it's Teoscar Hernandez and Freddie Freeman, right? Like, we know what they're gonna do.
You're getting contributions from fucking Tommy Edman right now.
Yeah,
you know that, and like that was a guy you traded for last year. You know, yes, we all love Tommy Edman when he was over there on the St. Louis Cardinals, and then you trade for him, and it's like, okay, what can he do as a depth guy? He shows up in the World Series, and the Dodgers feel like he unlocks something, comes back, gets off to a hot start. You're like, okay, well, that's just an underrated guy getting off to a hot start right here, adding to this lineup. And look. And I was gonna kind of bring up for this podcast, like, well, let's look at their schedule ahead and let's see if they're gonna get off to one of the best starts ever. Well, and honestly, then I realized it doesn't even really matter, because when you look at every single team that they're about to face, is there one team that's better than them? No, because they're the best team in baseball.
Yeah, like
they are.
I don't think that. I don't think that there's ever going to be – I was going to go so far to say that I don't think there's ever going to be a game that they're not favorited in. Yeah. I don't know if that's true, because there might be a time where, like, you know, you run into, like, somebody like the Phillies, for instance, and the Phillies have Zach Wheeler, and just, you know, however it worked out, you have your worst pitcher, or maybe somebody got injured and you got him, and then maybe you're not favorited. But I'll put it this way. There's never going to be a full series that goes by where if you could bet on – a series win, a series loss, or a series split, they are never going to be not favorited to win the series. Yeah. Every single series that happens. In 3 games, 4 games, even 2 games, the Dodgers will be the favorites to win said series every time.
Hey, well, now, correct me if I'm wrong. I want to talk about this a little bit. When they faced Tariq Skubal on opening day, not theirs, but the Tigers.
Yeah.
When they faced Tariq Skubal, were they not still the favorites?
I actually have no idea. That's a great question. You know? I'm not sure. I would, again, it's Tariq Skubal, but then you also have Blake Snell, who's really, really good.
Yeah.
And they took Tariq Skubal for a ride, everybody. Like, you could make a very strong argument to me right now, and I would sit here and I would listen, that Tariq Skubal is at this current moment in time the best pitcher in MLB, right? If you had to pick one game that you wanted one guy to start for, that would be your guy. I'd be like, all right, I totally respect. LA Dodgers put him on a leash and dog walked him for 5 innings. I own him on my fantasy team, and I was like, all right, well, this is just what it is, man. 4 earned runs, 2 strikeouts.
That's it.
I mean, like, again, like, this is somebody that won the Cy Young and quite literally, like, embarrassed so many American League hitters last year. Way over 200 strikeouts for the guy. He got 2 on the LA Dodgers lineup. They were all over him, man.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking right here. He had 80 pitches in 5 innings. So that kind of tells me he's still being decently efficient, right? That's less than 20. It's probably like 16 a bit strikeout or pitches per inning. So it's not like he wasn't having his best stuff. They were just getting to him.
Yeah.
6 hits, only 1 walk, too. So the fact is, like, a good pitcher, like you're saying, the best pitcher in all of baseball right now, arguably, and the LA Dodgers come out and manhandle him. That, to me, tells me that this lineup, well, I already knew it was the best in baseball, but just goes to show they can beat anybody and nobody can stop them.
Yeah, and I'm even looking at, so Tariq Skubal, he threw 80 pitches, 55 of them were strikes. Like, that's a relatively
really
decent,
good ratio.
Like, that's a pretty good ratio right there, you know what I mean? It's like, I think it proves that when you do throw strikes against this team, you're just going to run into guys that can hit those, and they're going to find a way, right? Yep. Even though, you could argue that he is the best stuff in baseball. So I guess all of this leads us to what it is that we are kind of concluding in today's show is this going to end up a top 5 MLB team of all time? Like, when you look back at history and, overall records, I believe that the best records in baseball are right around the 115 win range.
Yeah.
Like, of all time, there's a handful of squads that have done that. Is this going to be one of those squads?
I think you had who was it? I think it was Miguel Rojas came on to Talking Baseball, so shout out to them. Or I believe it was Baseball Today with Mr. Pete. He came out and said, "Look, if we don't get 120, that's a disappointment." You know, and that's coming from him. Now, obviously, he's on the team and he's going to talk up his own team. But seriously, like, I do think this will be the top 5 best team record-wise in all of baseball when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go so far as say 120 is a failure, but I would say that
I
would be I would be as an outsider. I'm not a LA Dodgers fan. I love all the individual players, and I like kind of the storyline that we're watching right now. But as an outsider watching, I think that this is 110 wins. You guys ran into some serious problems. Like 110 wins minimum for me.
Yeah.
And that's insane because I mean, like, that is the mark of you are the best team by far in MLB. If you get 110 wins, you're the best team by far in baseball. And for me, that's almost their floor.
Literally, it is their floor. If they're under 100, I would say that's a disappointment.
Oh
which
God,
is sad.
if they're under 100 wins,
oh,
I'm talking 110 wins. They're under 100 wins. Like, something really went bad.
Which is their line, right?
Yeah,
like,
no, they're not going under, dude. It's impossible for them to go under.
Over. They actually got rid of the outrights for now, all the regular season wins, because the regular season has started. But they got lines on the game, and we're just talking about, like, hey, who's going to have, like, are they going to be the favorites? Well, shocker, Dodgers today on Betway are favorites yet again. Dude, money line, so they got Roki Sasaki up against Reese Olson. And Reese Olson was good last year, and he's projected to have a good year this year. The Tigers have a 2.85 money line against the Dodgers, which is 1.44. This is baseball we're talking about, not football, where you might see something like that pretty regularly. This is baseball.
It's baseball on Game 5.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Dodgers.
For the Dodgers, Game 3. That alone is insanity for me.
Yep.
That's crazy, dude. Like 1.44 on Game 5 on opening day weekend.
You know what I'm doing? I'm taking Dodgers run line of -1.5 every time because the odds go to 1.9.
Bro, do you know what's insane too? It's like I could believe that if that was up against the Colorado Rockies. This is a fucking playoff team last year.
Playoff team, and arguably, and I mean, give credit to Jeff Passan. Jeff Passan changed his prediction, saying this could be one of the best teams in the American League based on their pitching.
I like them a lot, dude. I think that Detroit is going to be a really solid squad, and I do see them in the postseason later this year as one of the American League teams to beat. These guys are favored to beat them, like, 3 out of 4 times.
Handily. So, guys, let us know in the comments down below on our YouTube channel. What do you think about these LA Dodgers? Are we overreacting? I don't think so. Because, look, we've seen this story before, and it's happening again.
And I think Vegas just proved it to us, man.
Done.
It is not an overreaction. This is quite literally what's happening right now. But, folks, hit that like, smash the subscribe button. Let us know your thoughts about all of this in the comments down below. And we will catch you in the next one.
Cheers.